Hey everyone, it's Robert from On My Turntable. Hope you're having a great day today. It's Sunday afternoon. It's a little cooler out today, which is nice. It's not as hot and humid. I'm following up on the 12 questions that are going around from Jeff CalicoSilver's channel. I just finished watching Rachel the Music Man's version as well as Richard McCook's version. And actually Richard encouraged me to do this. So I'll do my best on these 12 questions. I also want to show some albums I picked up today to add to my collection. Before I get into everything, please hit the like and subscribe button below. Thank you to all that have liked and subscribed so far. I greatly appreciate it. I want to continue to put great content out there to be informative and to show you guys some great bands and artists that I have in my collection. So start off, I was watching Nevada's channel, not Nevada, Nevada, and she was talking about Utopia, and I've seen this a few times, and I hemmed and hawed. Wasn't really too familiar with it, but I picked it up today. This is Raw released in 1977, and I also picked up Adventures in Utopia, released in 1979. A little bit of wear on there, but the vinyl itself is in great shape. I already had this one. I picked this up this week. This is Vital Signs from Survivor. That one was released in 1984. Had a lot of great comments about this one. So I picked this one up today. This is Eye of the Tiger, Survivor. Of course, the big hit was on the Rocky III soundtrack. And the theme song actually for Rocky III. This was released in 1982. Picked up these guys as well. Power pop new wave band, Romantics, formed in '77. This is Strictly Personal, released in 1981. It's cool stuff. It's really good. And I picked up In Heat. In Heat, released in 1983. And you know me, I had to throw in some Canadian content in here. So from Toronto, Ontario, I can't call them a heavy metal hair band, but they're a glam rock and pop and punk rock band from Toronto, Ontario, formed in 1977. Platinum Blonde. Look at the hair. These guys are great. This is Alien Shores, released in 1985. Crying Over You, big hit, Somebody Somewhere, and this album hit number 3 in the Canadian charts as well. And speaking of hard rock and heavy metal rock, arena rock, another Canadian band, this is Helix. They're from Kitchener, Ontario, which isn't too far from Toronto. Big hit was Rock You. This is A Long Way to Heaven, released in 1985. Heavy stuff. And finally, really getting into this guy. This is a rockin' album. This is his debut album. This is Joe Jackson, Look Sharp. Quite a bit different from Night and Day that I just reviewed this morning. Night and Day was more of a Cole Porter tribute. This is a straight-ahead pop rock, funky kind of album. This one was released in 1979. It says his debut album from Joe Jackson. Big hit this year, really going out with him. Look Sharp, Sunday Papers, One More Time, and Fool in Love, or Fools in Love. Great stuff. So there's some great albums I picked up today. So the 12 questions from Jeff from Calico Silver. I'll try and do my best to answer these. Do you go to or stay away from a recently deceased artist? I tend to go towards them. Also, I tend to start looking at their discography, getting more deep cuts, learning more about the artist itself if I'm not familiar with them. And so I think in this case I'd go towards rather than stay away. I find if you stay away, it's not really giving tribute to the artist. Where if you dig into them and support them, I guess, in that way, as far as getting their albums, getting their deeper cuts, it's just a tribute to them. Next is pro or no to cover albums. I don't mind cover tunes, bands that pay tribute to other bands with a song or two. But as far as a whole album with covers, I'd say that's a no-no. I don't think I would like that at all. It's kind of, to me, that would be more like a K-Tel type of thing, or you know, the songs of whoever. It just, give me the original. Let me listen to the original. As I said, if a band does a cover of a song, that's cool. It's their interpretation of that particular song. But for a whole band to do another band's work, it's not very original, and I wouldn't suit my taste. Number 3, classical versions, yay or nay. Again, it all depends. I think classical interpretations of a particular song. I'm thinking Procol Harum's Denmark concert when they did Whiter Shade of Pale, and they brought in the orchestra and the chorus and the background singers. I think that was an amazing way to change the aspect and change the outlook of a song. Also, I think of The Garden by Rush when they brought in the strings and different instruments when they did live versions of The Garden. Amazing stuff. But to sit down and listen to a classical, like Bach plays the Beatles or that type of thing, I wouldn't go for that. But if a band brought in a strings or different instruments to enhance a song, sure, that's not a problem at all. Number 4, bands with a new frontman, can they be called the same name? Again, it depends. I think of Deep Purple with 3 or 4 different lead singers, but the core of the band stayed the same. They had their Mach 1, Mach 2, Mach 3, and Mach 4 versions of that band, but the core players stayed the same, so I think the name should have stayed. And they continued to release new albums. Same with Black Sabbath. You know, you got the Ozzy years, you got the Ronnie James Dio years. Keep that name the same. But for a band who just gets a new lead singer to continue to play, to stay afloat, or to make money, basically, I think of Journey. Nothing against Arnell, amazing singer, but it's not the original Journey. I think of Styx even. As great as Larry Gowan is, he's no Dennis DeYoung, and in some ways Dennis DeYoung's version and the musicians that he has brought in to play Styx songs are even better, but they shouldn't be called Styx. And Styx shouldn't be called Styx as well. Basically, 2 remaining players in the band, James Young and Tommy Shaw. So should they still be called Styx? I don't think so. Queen, again, they shouldn't be called Queen, but someone who has lost a lead singer, or someone who the lead singer has left and they brought in a new lead singer, and they're still continuing to make albums, for sure. I think they should still be called that particular band. Bonus tracks here and there. Again, it all depends. I don't think demos should be part of anything, but a bonus track could be cool. It gives a different outlook of a song, perhaps, or a song that you've never heard that they wanted to release, but they just didn't feel that they could release it, so they threw it in a bonus track. I think that's cool, but I think of say Deep Purple's Machine Head, where they brought out the remastered, I can't remember the particular year, when all the songs had different guitar solos. Well, that's not the same Machine Head to me. It's a cool concept, and but you've heard this album so many times that you know all the guitar tracks, and when you hear a different lead on it, it just doesn't work. So demos, no. Bonus tracks, sure. I don't mind them at all. Number 6, box sets, the best way to do them. I think the best way to do them is in chronological order, with the original album cover. I know in CDs it's hard to put the inner sleeves in a lot of these album series that I've picked up, but I think they're great because it also, A, it starts you off with a discography of a band right off the bat, and B, they're usually in order of release as well. I don't think a box set should be a greatest hits type of deal, but I think box sets are great on their own. I don't have any album box sets. I have mainly, well, I do all CD box sets. For example, the ZZ Top one I have is the first 10 albums. There's no inner sleeves in them, but they're original covers with the original tracks on the back, and it's cool. Do you hesitate to read an autobiography as it might give you the wrong idea of an artist or take them off their pedestal? No, I quite like documentaries of artists, band members. In some ways, it does the exact opposite. It helps you appreciate. It helps you appreciate who that artist is, and no one, just because you're an artist or a band member or in a rock group, it doesn't mean that you're on this pedestal. I mean, name an artist that doesn't have too many flaws. Even as innocent as they were, I think of Karen Carpenter, who an angelic voice, the ideal good girl image, but she had demons in the background that a lot of people perhaps didn't know about. I think of a guy like Keith Richards, who you know his demons right off the bat. But unless you watch his documentary, and there's an amazing documentary on Netflix, and I hope it's still on there because I've seen it like 10 times. But it gives you an appreciation of what an amazing artist he is, and his love for rock and roll. He doesn't like rock music, and he kind of gives an example. He doesn't come out and say it, but he gives an example of AC/DC, those type of bands. He likes his roll with his rock, but it gives you it doesn't put him on a pedestal. I know in the Stones he plays the chords he's played for years and years and years, but as an individual artist, and the talent that he has, and the appreciation for music that he has, and the appreciation of other artists that he has, he just it makes him human rather than that superstar of being in the Rolling Stones. So I think autobiographies are great, whether it's the written book or a documentary. I think they're perfect. Am I apologetic for an artist? I don't think so. I think they are who they are. I think once you age and hopefully mature, you understand these artists. Again, another great documentary, and it's more of a concert slash um, with the artist talking in the background. But John Mellencamp, um, who doesn't pull any punches, he comes right out and says, "You may think you know this person. You may know you think you know this artist. You may think you have an idea of who this person or this artist is, but you don't know them for beans. They are just as human as anyone else, with their same flaws, with their same hang-ups and bad attitudes and um, bad habits as anyone. So you may put these people, and again, going back to the autobiography thing, you may put these people on a pedestal, but once you don't really know them for who they are, and that could be a musician, it could be a movie star, it could be anyone. You have this image of this particular person, but you don't know anyone that you think you know. And he was pretty cool in saying that. Again, he doesn't pull any punches, and he goes against the grain for sure. But another great documentary. I don't think it's on Netflix anymore, but it was a great one. Number 9, do you feel embarrassed for all your collections? Hell no, I don't feel embarrassed at all. I constantly talk about them. I constantly find more about these artists as I go by, as I get into it more and more, and you want more. And I'm envious of all these people in the vinyl community that have shelves and shelves and shelves and shelves of music, and I'm envious of that. I want to get to that stage, not just to buy albums just for the sake of having that collection, but I listen to everything I have, whether I listen to the actual album or I listen to it on Spotify. Actually, when I was buying these albums today, I was Spotifying everything before I bought it, just to make sure that it was what I wanted to get. So I'm not embarrassed at all. If I could shop for albums every day, I would, and I have no problem talking about them. I show them off every day, whether it's on Instagram or Facebook. I show what I'm listening to. People know me for my music and my love of music. Do you ever get tired of listening to music? Nope. I mean, there's times and maybe moments out a day, or even a day or two goes by that I may not listen to music because, just like everything else, you need a break. But you start looking around and you're seeing these album covers and these CD covers, and at some point in time, and then when you're putting a video together and you're putting the music together and you want to put the right music, so you're never tired of listening to music. I don't listen to radio anymore because I think radio has just ruined it for a lot of bands, a lot of artists, a lot of songs. But I don't get tired of listening to music at all. Number 11, do you get irked with some comments and almost like it seems that they didn't pay attention? Touch wood, I've had nothing but great comments, and you do get scammed every once in a while, like those "be my friend" type of things. I just delete them. I just get rid of them. They're a scam, and that's how I treat them. But as far as any bad comments, I haven't had one yet. But I think, and I try to answer all the comments that I get. I'm still a new channel. I've only been doing this since late November of last year. I'm having a blast doing it. But and when I answer, I try to answer all the comments with great comments as well. Whether it's happy face or and I'm always trying to comment on other people's channels as well, just to be supportive, and I think that in turn perhaps gives me support back. So touch wood, I haven't had those comments yet, but I'll handle them as they come. If it's scams, I'll just delete them. Have you ever felt like I wanted to quit YouTube? I've questioned it a couple times, like when I was struggling to get, like, it was just kind of going this way with subscribers. You know, was it worth it? Am I doing the right thing? But I start watching other people's videos, and if they can do it, I can do it type of attitude. I check out other how-tos, the best way to, you know, I just do research on the best way to do a video, different tricks, different ways, adding an intro to my channel, you know, mentioning the subscribe, just different things like that, and you know, entering contests, doing a contest. It's work, and I try to do a video every day. Sometimes my work gets in front of that, and I can't do a video every day, and I feel guilty if I don't do a video every day. But I try to do a video on a daily basis, and I think the hardest part is gathering the information to do the video. Sometimes you're searching and searching and searching, and I started to do this actually I wanted to do the albums from the 70s, and I started to grab a pile to go through, and I said, I just can't do it. Just tired and the end of the night. So you get to those stages where you just need a break, just like not listening to music for a day or so. It's just nice to take a break and put it aside for a bit, but then that guilt feeling starts to happen, and so, oh, I got to make sure that I'm doing these videos. I want to keep on going, because I want to just keep on going and be successful at this, and I'm really enjoying it. The vinyl community has been awesome, and you guys have been amazing. So there you go. I know this is a long one, but anyway, there you have it. Have yourself a wonderful day, and take care. Bye now.